Revs fans, you're in for a treat today. Welcome to Coffee with the Coach Fueled by Dunkin. I'm Elizabeth Pehota alongside New England Revolution head coach Bruce Arena ahead of the Revs match in the play-in round of the postseason against the Montreal Impact. Coach, thank you for your time.
My pleasure. Looking forward to this interview.
Yes.
And also the Dunkin' Donut coffee.
Absolutely. The Dunkin' delivers is on point.
I like the dark, by the way.
Good. I'm glad we had the right choice. Coach, you've just wrapped up the 2020 regular season. It's unquestionably been an unprecedented year. How have the players handled the twists and turns of this season?
They've done well. I think everyone's just exhausted with everything. You know, it's the schedule's been awkward. No rhythm each and every week with the number of games we've played in a short period of time, the traveling on game day, the COVID protocols, which are certainly appropriate yet challenging. So we've gone, knock on wood, as they say, we've gone the whole season without any issues with COVID, and we're hopeful that remains the case as we enter the playoffs as well.
You mentioned the playoffs, which is next up on the docket. What's the biggest improvement you want to see this group make?
We need to be more consistent what we do, not only from game to game, but throughout a game. And we saw moments in our last game against Philadelphia where we played fine, and other moments where we had some mental errors and conceded a couple of goals. And against a team like Philadelphia, who has had our number this year, you can't make those mistakes. So it's a good lesson, and I also say the coach didn't do a good job getting the team ready for that game. And I've learned a lesson as well. So hopefully we can use the regular season to get us better prepared for this playoff game. Additionally, we have players coming back, and hopefully they're going to be at full speed come Friday against Montreal, because we're going to need it. Montreal's a team that's played us 3 or 4 times this year. I can't remember the exact number. I think it's 4. And we've been pretty successful, and they know that, and they're not going to be happy coming into Gillette Stadium. So it's really going to be challenging. It's going to be a nail-biter, and hopefully our guys are ready to play and we can score some goals as well.
You mentioned that the team has some lessons that they can take into consideration. Taking a look at the schedule, the Revs have 12 days to rest, recover, and prepare for this important game against Montreal. How beneficial is this extended period of time to train for this do-or-die game?
Well, the training's important. We really haven't had a chance to do it since I guess the bubble. And even in the bubble, we didn't have a chance to train because, again, we were playing games that were close together, and we were playing in 100-degree weather. So it's been an absolutely awkward year. And now we feel we've had good training this week. We look forward to another day tomorrow, and then we're going to have the weekend off, which is very rare for these players. But I think it'll be good for them both mentally and physically. And I think as we get closer to the game on the 20th, we're going to enter the game in a good rhythm and hopefully with a real positive approach.
Speaking of good rhythms, designated players Carlos Gil and Gustavo Bo are both coming back from injuries. How critical is this time to have that weekend off and that 12-day stretch to prepare, especially since they're coming back into the mix?
It's important. Now, you got to remember, Carlos has played now one 90-minute game, maybe, I'm probably wrong about that, 2 90-minute games the entire year.
Yeah.
So, the game last week in Philadelphia is important, and this training is important, and he looks very fit. Gustavo's missed a fair amount in the month of October, and it showed in Philadelphia, and he's trained hard this week, and hopefully he's going to be back close to 100%. So if you have 2 of your best players fit and in good form, your chances get better to be successful. So I'm excited to get those guys back on the field.
In addition to Gil and Bo, you have your third designated player, Adam Buksa, who was in the starting lineup last week against Philadelphia. What are your expectations for this trio coming into the postseason now that they've had some time to reintegrate?
Well, it's I don't want to just put it on that trio. It's our whole team. The expectations is our guys know what we're about as a team. We're trying to accomplish. They know their responsibilities and their positions, and if everyone's in the right frame of mind, that the coaches and especially the head coach do a better job in getting them ready to play this game, we should be fine. And certainly at the end of the day, you would expect that our players that we think are are better players. They have to show up and play well, and that's going to be the challenge, and I'm optimistic that they're going to do well.
Striker Adam Buksa is one of those players who showed up and really come into form in recent weeks. He's had 3 goals in the last 6 games. What's enabled this new sense of confidence that he plays with?
Well, I don't think he came from necessarily a great soccer environment, and he's learning how to play in this league. He's learning how to play on this team, and he's learning how to live abroad. Mm-hmm. So those are 3 challenges that the player has. He's 24 years old, not that he's a little kid, but these are all new experiences in his life, and we see that the second half of the season he's getting better, and that's a real plus. And we expected that the first year would not be easy for him, and it hasn't been, but he's had a great approach to it, and I believe he's coming into his best form now as we enter the playoffs.
Speaking of players in great form, forward Teal Bunbury leads the team with 8 goals on the 2020 season. What's allowed Bunbury to be so sharp in the attack this year?
Well, I think he's taken advantage of his opportunities over the last, probably since we returned from Orlando. He's gotten some decent chances. In the DC game, he finished 2 chances quite well. And he's done that on a fairly consistent basis over the last couple of months. And he works hard, he gets in good spots, and give him a lot of credit. He's been taking advantage of his opportunities, and he has scored important goals for us because we're a team to date that hasn't proved to be a team that can score a lot of goals. So Teal has, if I do my math right, a third of our goals this year. So that's critically important.
Your math is sharp. Switching gears to the defense, the Revs set a new defensive team record of 1.08 goals against. What's made New England so difficult to break down for the majority of this year?
Well, I think the team defends well, and having said that, we gave up 5 goals in our last 2 games, so I'm not happy about that. We have to get better there. But the combination of Matt Turner making some timely saves in games, and the fact that not only our back line has been consistently good, but our entire team has worked pretty well to give us a good defensive record. And I don't know what you said, how many goals we've conceded this year, but we've made a bunch of mistakes where we probably could have cut off another 5 or 6 goals that were scored against us. So we have a good record on the defensive end of the field. If I'm not mistaken, we're like the 4th best in the East in team defending, and the 9th best in team attacking. We'd like to be in the top 4 in both categories.
You've mentioned that goalkeeper Matt Turner has been one of the most consistent players on this Revolution roster. Turner just earned team MVP and has 6 shutouts on the season. Turner also has a stoppage rate of just over 75%. What's allowed him to be so consistent?
Again, the players in front of him have been fairly consistent in our back line. I think he gets better each and every game. He's still a goalkeeper that's learning. This is his probably his first full year as a starter. Not probably, it is. It's his first full year as a starter in the professional ranks, and he's had now. I believe he's missed only 1 regular season game, so he's had 22 regular season games, and that's important for a goalkeeper. And I think the consistent playing has been a real plus for him, and he is well coached. Our goalkeeper coach, Kevin Hitchcock, is outstanding. They work well together, and Matt loves to learn. He trains hard, he listens to Kevin, he learns from his mistakes, and now he's been a pretty consistent goalkeeper, and he's a finalist for the Goalkeeper of the Year award, which whether he wins it or not, it's still a big credit for him.
The Revs are now kicking off in the play-in round of the postseason against Montreal on Friday. The Revs and Montreal have already met 4 times, with the Revs going 3-0-1 in that span. What are the benefits to being so familiar with an opponent, especially in a winner-take-all game?
Well, I'm not sure it's an advantage because the other team has the same thing. They know us very well. But clearly, any of these games now we're going to play in postseason, everybody knows each other by then. And we know what we need to do. to be successful on the day, and hopefully we can get it right.
With the unprecedented 2020 season and the do-or-die format all the way to MLS Cup, how deep of a run could this team make in the postseason?
Like any team, and especially in our sport, it's a low-scoring sport. One goal makes all the difference in the world. If we have the right concentration each and every game, we have a chance. And we don't concede a lot of goals, so that's critically important. Can we be better at the other end of the field? And with the return of some of our players, I think we can be. However, having said all of this, there's no run if you don't beat Montreal. So what we need to do is get after the first game, try to be successful, and then take on the next opponent.
Coach, thank you for your time and best of luck against the Montreal Impact.
Thank you. Thank you, Dunkin' Donuts.
Yes, Revs fans, you can get your Dunkin' favorites wherever you are with Dunkin' Delivers. Thank you for watching Coffee with the Coach, fueled by Dunkin'. Until next time.